It's hip to be square, and we're keeping it square this Feature Friday on Ron's Trains and Things right now. Hi, I'm Ron of Ron's Trains and Things, and today I am very excited to be starting a new weekly series called Feature Fridays. On Feature Fridays, I'm going to introduce you to some resources that I find very helpful in my model railroading efforts. I'll introduce you to some websites that are full of great prototype information or information about how to build and operate your own layout. I'll show you videos and channels full of great content, manufacturers that go under the radar, ones that you probably won't find in your Walters catalog, but are making some great model railroad products. I'll show you some materials that you may have never known could be used in model railroading and ways to use them, and I'm going to introduce you to some cool tools that I find indispensable. Today we're going to talk about one of those tools. In my recent series on scratch building Barron Brothers Farm and Garden, you saw me use this gluing jig, and several people have asked about it, about how it worked and about how they could find one for themselves. And so today I'm going to introduce you to a little more information about this gluing jig and where you can find one. So let's go over to the computer now and take a look. To find our magnetic gluing jig, we're going to start by going to micromark.com. And when we come to their homepage, here at the top, you're going to see the search box, and in that search box you're just going to type the phrase gluing jig, and you're going to get a drop-down menu of top results of your search, and the very first result on that search is the gluing jig that we are talking about, the 10 1/4 inch square magnetic gluing jig with 7/8 inch flanges, bent up at 90 degrees. It's item number 60304. It is $20. And I want to point out some things to you about this gluing jig while we have this picture up here. First, you'll notice it has 4 nice right angles, square corners. I want to encourage you, if you buy one of these, the first thing you need to do is get a good square and check all the corners. Mine, you'll note there are 2 corners that are closed, and there are 2 corners that you see, like this one here, that are open. And those open corners, as you see in this example, are for when you have work that you need to make a 90-degree angle, but the work extends above that angle, like this gabled roof end wall. You see they're making a nice square corner here using the vertical corner, but the work can extend through that open part of the corner. Now on mine, of the 2 open corners, one of them, this flange is bent just slightly. It's kind of curves in all the way up and down, which makes it not as easy to use. I can use it on one side, but not on the other. Watch that very carefully when you get one. Also, of my 2 closed corners, one of them is perfectly square. The other one is off by maybe as little as 1 degree. It's a very slight discrepancy in one corner, but I want corners that are as true as I can get them. So what I did is I just took a Sharpie and marked a big arrow, and if you watched my previous scratch building videos, you saw that arrow in the corner, and I was always working in that corner. That arrow marks the corner that I want to use when I use the closed corners. And so check the corners on it with a square that you trust whenever you get it, and that way you can know that you got everything exactly right. If for some reason the corners weren't exactly right, I'm sure that you could exchange it at Micromark, but you'll want to check that. Now this comes with 8 of these magnetic holders, and they also have nice square right corners on them, so they can help you hold things in square as well as just hold them in place. And if for some reason 8 isn't enough, or if you were to lose some, or like in my case, all of mine, one of these little metal sides came off, which is fine, that's not a problem. But on one of them, both sides came off, and if that were to be the case for several of them, you may need to replace some. And if you scroll down below the gluing jig, you can see you can buy extra sets of those magnetic holders. They come in packages of 8 for $10.95, and you could buy as many of them as you like. They also make a flat gluing jig. In this case, they show an example of using it in shipbuilding. If for some reason you need more open space without the corners, you could get this and use those same magnetic holders to hold things in place as you glued them. Honestly, if you have a clean, flat piece of metal that has iron in it, that's magnetic, you can use those magnetic holders on anything and do the same job. To me, the real value in this jig is the fact that it has these nice square corners that you can use to hold things in square while you're gluing them together. So that's the magnetic gluing jig. I have had mine for several years, and I tell you, I don't know how I ever did any scratch building or even kit building without it. It is such a handy tool when it comes to gluing corners that you need to have at 90 degrees. And so here for $20 plus shipping, you can have the same magnetic gluing jig, and you'll want to. I think you'll want to check this out if you don't already have one. It's a worthwhile investment and one of those tools that you'll think you absolutely can't do without once you've had one. You'll want to check out this gluing jig and the many other fine tools at micromark.com. You can find a link to their website in the description below this video. Also, you can see this gluing jig in action in my Barron Brothers Farm and Garden build videos, and you'll find a link to them during the credits at the end of this video. Be sure and come back each week for Feature Fridays, and also on Tuesdays on Ron's Trains and Things, I'll be posting new modeling videos, so you'll want to check those out as well. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up down below and let me know. Also, if you would like to share this video on Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, other social media, or model railroad forums that you're on, then others can enjoy its content as well. I hope that you'll subscribe to my channel, and if you click that little bell next to the subscribe button, you'll get notified each time I come out with a new video. And, of course, please go to the bottom of the page, leave your comments and your questions in that comment section. I love to hear from you, and I always respond to your comments. Well, that's all I have for today, but I hope you'll join us again soon on Ron's Trains and Things, and I look forward to seeing you then.